Yeah, I know we talk about this all the time, but it stands to reason if we are talking about it all the time, there's something to talk about. If a conversation continually ticks over, it's because people are interested, and sometimes people can't believe it. And when we turn our attentions to wrestling, nowhere is that more true than the subject of the man known as Roman Reigns. A genuine science experiment as his character and his booking get treated like there's no problem at all is even more fascinating when you cast your mind back to the past. If this was the 80s or 90s, it would be really simple. If you were a good guy, you were getting cheered, and if you were a bad guy, you were getting booed, and if that reversed, they'd switch you around. That's not the case with Roman, and it gets even stranger because there's never a direct route for him to follow. A lot of people say that WWE are digging their heels in, but did they do that at WrestleMania 34? No. Did they do that at WrestleMania 31? No. Both of those were straight up halfway house. As we know, you don't want a halfway house. If you've got a halfway house, you've only got half a house. And what are you going to do when it rains? You're going to get all wet and you're going to get all cold and you're going to be pissed off. And this is all because, frankly, Roman Reigns makes no sense. Why? Here's why. Get better. We need to slap our heads. Let's return to that last point just quickly because I think it's worth repeating. As much as we all go, WWE is shoving Roman down our throats, or WWE puts Roman over all the time, the truth is, they don't. Reigns loses all the time on both television and pay-per-view, and aside from WrestleMania 32, the company has never had the balls to actually pull the trigger, and if they had, I imagine right now Roman Reigns would probably be champ, and we could have moved on from this mess. I know he's had his runs with the title too, but they've never been done properly, because WWE gets caught up somewhere between, well, this is what we want to do with the guy, but also, we don't really want to wind the fans up anymore, because that is becoming a problem. That's just so strange on so many levels, because you wind up in a place where nobody is happy. You put a guy on top of the card, but he's never allowed to have actual momentum. And you need momentum. Without momentum, you don't move. It's physics. Now, this isn't me saying that he's not pushed enough, or he's not too marched, or what, why, here, where, there, to, left, right, centre. It is me saying that if you track his progress, there is a clear line about where WWE would like him to go, and where they actually go because they freak out all the time. And who is that for? We're all still mad because the saga continues to go on, and WWE ain't best pleased because they have to go back to the drawing board and go, what do we have to do in order to make all of this come together in the way that we would like? Paul Heyman said it best on Raw a couple of weeks ago. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Exactly. As a quick aside, I'm not figuring kids into this either, and that's a weird thing to say, but I've seen how children react to Roman Reigns, and they explode with joy as if he is an actual superhero. But we've got to be honest, that's not WWE's main demographic anymore. And you have to play to your audience. Well, you'd think that anyway. But WWE is making so many profits and so much cash these days, they can be like, we don't have to do anything. Screw you fans, screw you. That's a bit much, but you know, it's for effect. It's that area which makes this whole Reigns thing even odder still. Here we have the biggest star in the company, the top guy, the big dog, as he likes to be known. Grrr, woof, woof. Does it make a difference? Is that wrestling, or was that wrestling? If WWE had done this with Lex Luger in the 90s, who knows where we would have been today? Maybe wrestling would have died as a whole. A lot of pressure to put on Lex Luger's shoulders, but we don't know. We don't have a DeLorean. Ultimately, Roman Reigns exists in some kind of no man's land where he's not aimed at anyone. I would have preferred it, as I've said 1,000 times, if he had just won the title at WrestleMania and we could have driven a line under all of this. But instead, we're looking at SummerSlam and we've got to do it all again. Also, I just said driven a line under anything. That's right, I'm so annoyed I'm getting in a car and I'm driving around with lines everywhere. That's not even a thing. But that's what being angry does. And I know too, it's not like he doesn't have an incredible resume. He's like main evented the last 4 WrestleManias. He beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and usually in a big feud, the big dog, and we keep saying that, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it too, will come out on top. But even if you compare him to someone like John Cena, it's vastly different. When the crowd turned on him, Vince McMahon dug his heels in. He was like, well, I'm going to do this anyway, so you better deal with it. He believed, and also all of that was kind of new at the time, so it made it feel fun. It was like, oh, we all boo John Cena. He reacts to it, we're part of the show. Now it's old hat, and McMahon never seems sure exactly what he wants to do with Roman Reigns and the Universal title, and it's because of that why Brock Lesnar is still champion. We've discussed that 1,000 times, and how his, sporadic appearances are actually hurting Monday Night Raw. It always hits home for me when I think about trying to explain this situation to someone that doesn't watch wrestling, but maybe wants to come aboard. It's like, okay, cool. So there's that main guy, this top star, and Vince McMahon of the WWE. They want him to be the champion, but the adult fans, they all hate him. Because of that, it kind of scares management a little bit, the backstage officials, so they don't know what to do. So what they do is they tease it a little bit. They listen to the reaction, it's not what they want. So then they go back into the writer's room and go, do we have any more ideas? Because we want to keep doing this. What is that? If you want to tell a story, tell a story. And if I don't like that story, then fine. You can't smash it out the park every time. But what I do not enjoy is being told the same story over and over and over and over again because you can't make up your mind as to what's important. That's also really boring, and I like Roman. Even though most comments go, oh, Simon loves Roman. And other comments go, oh, Simon's always crapping on Roman. What are you going to do? And while it may not be that entertaining week in, week out, Roman Reigns is still a fascinating character because he finds himself in a position no one has ever found themselves in. It's like he's the middleman in a war between the promotion and the fans, and that's just amazing. The internet rose up and they chose Reigns as their target, and that battle just continues to rage on in front of all our faces. I really hope Reigns just wins the title at SummerSlam so we can forget about all this, and if we do that, that helps Brock Lesnar. He can go off to the UFC, have his fight with Daniel Cormier, and then he can come back. And if he doesn't have the title, he can just go have some good feuds with loads of people. There's loads of people that would get on in the ring well with Brock Lesnar. But yeah, Roman Reigns, what an amazing journey and what an amazing adventure we've been on with this guy. And I actually think when we look back, when all this has died down, we're all going to be quite intrigued by it. Like, that was some crazy times. It's never made any sense, and it's never really followed any specific path. It's almost like some people just can't see it, even though clearly they can see it. It would have been like pushing Rocky Maivia as he was, while also understanding that, hey, this isn't working. That is just bizarre, and all of this is just bizarre. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about the whole Roman Reigns situation. I know we go on about it, but there's so much to talk about. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles maybe about Roman Reigns, hashtag Roman Reigns Day, and follow What Culture on Twitter and What Culture WWE. Roman Reigns is on Twitter too. Come follow him. My name is Simon Miller. This was What Culture in the Y Series, and thank you for watching my face. The beard continues to grow. The smile continues to get bigger. The arm ain't fixing itself anytime soon, but it's okay. Because we take life kapow! And we do what we can. See you soon.